Welcome back to With Honors, where today we are taking your favorite, or least favorite, honors English lit topics and debating them.
I'm Bella, and today I'm here with Miya and Eiley. We're tackling unpopular opinions in honors lit. Unpopular opinions in honors English 10.
Unpopular opinions about people. Sick.
No, not people. Not
Our
people.
class.
The books.
I think we have a wonderful class. No unpopular opinions
I
about
love
them.
most of you guys.
I like it. Specifically, what unpopular opinion? Is it like a top 10 or like what is it?
We just wrote down some unpopular
Like about-
opinions.
Yeah,
Some of the
bullet
books.
points.
Like if Remarkably Bright Creatures was actually good or not.
It was,
Oh,
guys.
that face. That face.
Or if the ending of Fahrenheit 451 was really good. Or if we think it should have continued.
Okay. But also, big picture, do you have a reason for this? Why are we discussing unpopular opinions? Like, how does that relate overall to anything?
I think it gives you insight.
Me?
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
You can hear from the people.
Yeah, you get to know if you really need
Who
to do that.
cares?
From the Senate.
Yeah,
You're
you hear from
Caesar.
your
You have to
Senate.
hear from the Senate.
What do the people want? Who cares?
You should care.
Why?
Because you're a teacher. You have to look out for us. Look out for the future students.
Get the students engaged more in what they want to do.
That's all you've got for me? Because it entertains you? But if I'm adapting my rules simply because of what's entertaining, if I'm only sculpting based on what's entertaining, am I looking out for what's in their best needs?
But like I think you could find stuff that's different that would like meet the same requirements.
Okay.
Like Remarkably Bright Creatures. I mean, it was okay.
I
But-
think Where the Crawdads Sing would definitely be better.
We could have even read Life of Pi at that point.
There is nothing wrong with Life of Pi. There is nothing
Hey,
wrong
I'm not
with Life
hating.
of
I
Pi.
don't think there was anything wrong with
Remarkably.
I can't do this again.
I thought it was a good book. I know most people hate it, but I mean, it's a good, heartwarming story about finding yourself and finding the people and finding family and stuff. But I mean, it was very predictable,
Yeah. Yeah.
which made it more unenjoyable. But still, I mean, it's a nice story for
Yeah,
everyone to
I
read.
gotcha. I'm sitting here today with Bella, Miya, and Eiley. Eiley, it's been a while since people have heard from you, and this will probably be the first time they have heard from you online. Tell me about this wonderful name of yours. Tell me about that wonderful first name, I-L-Y. Where did this come from?
So my name means I love you. My parents named me after the anonym because they always wanted me to know that they loved me no matter what.
Whose idea was that? Was that?
That's my dad's, actually.
I love that name. Bella, where'd your name come from?
It didn't really come from a certain place. It was just one on the list, I guess.
Yeah.
They had 3 to choose from and just decided on Isabella or Bella.
Do you know what they could have chosen?
I remember one, it was Alexandra, which definitely would have been different. And I think they wanted to do Alex or something like that for short. There was one name where the nickname was going to be Allie, but we already had an Allie on my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
So I guess Bella just worked out, or there is some meaning that I am not aware of.
It's always weird for me to think of the what might have been,
Mm-hmm.
right? Eiley, do you know what they might have named you otherwise?
No, I don't.
They were just going to come up with a new name, I-O-Y. I like that. Miya, you spell your name M-I-Y-A. Where'd your name come from?
I honestly have no idea. There's no clue.
Did they put a bunch of letters into the hat, shake it up, and they just pulled them out and they were like, let's do Miya?
I don't know. I know my mom, they were going to spell it a different way, I'm pretty sure. And then they were like, let's get original.
I
So,
like it. Do you know what your alternate names might have been?
no idea.
Did your parents ever tell you if they had a plan for what your name was going to be if you were a guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So, my dad followed this bike cyclist guy named Jens Voigt.
Yep.
And so I think if I was a boy, it would have been Jens probably because my younger brother, is named Jens.
That's right.
Which his name is cool because it's spelled Jens, but you pronounce it with a Y, and so that's always confusing for teachers and stuff. So I like to hear how different people pronounce his name. So he has a cool name.
But I already knew about his name before, so I would have gotten it right on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you all have any brothers or anything?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are they older or younger?
He's younger.
So I wonder if they had ever thought about, well, what's his name?
Talon.
Okay. How do they spell that?
Taylen.
So I wonder if that had ever been in the back of their heads, like, ooh, if she's a girl, we'll name her Eiley, but a guy, we're going to name her Talon. And then you turned out to be Eiley, and they were like, well, we'll just put Talon back in the hopper.
On the back burner.
And we'll refer back to him, yeah. And you don't have any brothers or anything?
I'm an only child.
You're an only child. What's your middle name?
Lachey.
Lachey. Oh, I think that's also fun, like figuring out what people's middle names are and how they characterize them.
I have a good middle name.
What is it?
Villanueva.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, I feel like, before as a last name.
Yeah.
So where does
it is
this
her
come
last
from?
name. It's my mom's maiden name.
Oh.
So,
That's so perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we did with my oldest son.
Oh, really?
My wife's maiden name is his middle name.
Yeah, I think it's neat. People are always like, "How do you pronounce it?" or like, "How do you spell it?" I don't really know how to spell it. I get confused sometimes, but I like it. It's definitely different, and it's not like basic like some.
Joe.
Yeah.
Which I love the name Joe. Don't any of you out there who are named Joe be mad. Maya, did your parents just think, well, she's going to be sassy. Let's go with, and they named you that.
It came from my mom's best friend. Her middle name is also Lachey.
That's so cool.
But I was born 8 weeks early, so I wonder if it was like a last minute thing. She called her and she was like, hey, I'm naming my daughter's middle name after you.
They hadn't decided yet.
8 weeks early.
What if they hadn't even decided on your first name and they just had to write down girl?
Make up something on the spot.
Guys, I don't want to be named girl. I'd feel like I'm out of like.
Oh my gosh, it's like that. Have you seen Bird Box?
Yes, that's what I'm.
Yeah, Bird
Boy
Box.
and girl.
Yeah,
Oh my
boy and
gosh.
girl.
Okay. Have you ever read the book Bird Box?
No.
I didn't even know there was a book
Yeah,
over.
I
Oh my
didn't know
gosh,
it was
right? So a few years ago, it was a big Netflix trend because they came out with the Sandra Bullock movie. That's when I had found out it was a book on Reddit. I picked up the book one year at New Year's Eve. It's a skinny book. I'm telling you right now, it is disturbing. Did you like the movie?
The movie was disturbing.
It's really good though. It's good, but it's like it's weird, but it's good.
You ever seen it?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
I think
the
it's
book is
scary.
way better because I read the book and then I watched the movie and I was so let down by the movie. It's the same kind of story, but just the telling of the book gets you because they're not allowed to see anything, right?
Yeah.
So you have to just envision whatever the book is telling you. And in the movie, I don't know. I feel like once you read the book, they dumbed down some things in the movie and you're just like, I don't know, you were more frightened by. But what a good story too. Do you know what my middle name is?
Is it Joe?
If Jason Crockett had a middle name,
Jason?
would it be Joe? Jason Joe.
Jason Joe Crockett. Jason
Joe who?
Levine.
Joe Mama.
I don't know. You look like Jason Levine.
I'm trying to think
Edward.
if he's ever said anything.
Where the
about
crap? Jason
Oh,
Levine.
Jason Aldean.
Aldean.
Adam Levine, Jason Aldean. Okay, there's somewhere in there. No, it's going to be a quest now. I'm not going to tell you my middle name.
Dang it.
no,
I'm gonna look you up on Facebook.
This is go ahead.
If I chat
is like-
GPT it, it'll pop up.
This is going to be like Rumpelstiltskin because if I give you my name, then you have power over me, and I don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
I'd come in here being like, "Hey, Jason blank Crockett."
They're going to wait until the middle of class one day, and they're going to be like, "That's okay, Robert," and I'm just going to.
Does it not
freeze
show
up
it
and
on
look at
Skyward for teachers?
I hope not.
Like not
Mine
the
doesn't.
abbreviation?
I hope not.
Oh.
I hope not.
Doesn't say his middle name.
It shows the teachers their middle names or middle names though, right?
I chat GPT'd you.
That's so scary.
Give me this.
That's
You can do it about anybody. I
scary.
did it
Oh,
about
yeah.
myself one day.
Okay. So that's also a lie. She chat GPT'd tell me about Jason Crockett from Sparta, Tennessee. And chat says that I'm an English teacher at White County High School in Sparta. Correct. He's been recognized for his dedication to his students and highlighted. Correct. He is dedicated. He is super dedicated. In a 21 article where he praised a student's dedication and hard work,
what article?
When was this article?
What?
Click the link.
it's in Sparta Live. Because chat did a Google search where I wrote about one of my seniors who was being recognized in the expositor. And so it was like, oh, ping, Jason Crockett, highlighting his student. How about that?
Oh, so it's right.
In 2019, his AP English class collaborated on a writing script for the homecoming event, which is true because it found it through Warrior Media. Additionally, his involvement extends beyond the classroom, where he is associated with the Sparta Drive-In. False.
Almost there.
It was close. It was close.
So ChatGPT is the devil, and it knows a lot. Not everything, but a lot.
It's scary.
Mine talks about all my sports and stuff, and I was like, and it like links like all the websites to like all my pages, like my mile sprints on there, my huddle, my max.
Bizarre.
Sprint. Somebody could literally stalk you off of that.
All right, so I'm sitting here with Eiley and Maya and Bella today, and we're going to talk about some unpopular opinions about Honors 10, unpopular opinions about this year,
Yeah.
unpopular opinions about people in the classroom. Why is this okay, so our biggest unpopular opinion, who is the most unpopular kid in our class?
Oh my gosh.
And why is it Maya?
No, I think Maya is like definitely the most popular, probably.
So we're going to talk about unpopular things that have happened in class, or unpopular what?
Just unpopular opinions people have overall. Like I've asked like some people, by that I mean like very few, what their opinions were.
Okay.
And
So I love it. So you approach this topic by farming up some unpopular opinions from people in class. I love it. What a vox pop thing to do. All right, Bella, hit me. Our first unpopular opinion, number 1.
I think we should start off strong and question if Remarkably Bright Creatures, our summer reading project, was a good book or not.
Well, I don't know. Is it or not? You tell me.
Well, I know that majority of us did not like the book. I enjoyed it when I was reading it. I read it when it was first assigned to us, and I mean, like, it was pretty predictable, like very predictable. It was very obvious. Like, if Cameron, spoilers, if Cameron was not Tova's grandson, I probably would have been like, what is this book? But overall, it's just like a heartwarming, feel-good story about self-discovery or re-self-discovery. And some people can enjoy that more than others. I thought it was a good story, but I mean, it wasn't the best thing I've ever read in my life. So
Shelby Van Pelt gives us a heartwarming, tender story about people finding themselves. How dare she? What an unpopular.
I think also, so it's her first novel, so
Yeah.
that plays into factor. But also, it came out during the COVID years when everyone was quarantined, and so I feel like the time it came out was good for people to like it, like us reading it later on. And also, we're like 15 and 16-year-olds. That's not like, not everyone's like, yes, self-discovery, you know? So.
Maya, what do you think? Was it a good book or not good book?
Okay. It took.
Maya, did you read the book?
I did.
You did? Okay. Was it a good book or not?
It took me a while to get into it. I wish there was more about the octopus, and I know that's a lot of people's opinions about it, because when you look at the cover, you think, oh my gosh, a story about an octopus. And then you get into it and it has like 16 pages. And it's like, oh.
Well, his passages are so well written. They have such a better voice than some of the others.
Okay, I think his pages are like well developed more so than others because he's older. He's wiser. But I mean, like Tova.
Much like me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commenting off that, I think in my composition, like while reading, during reading notes, that was one of the points I made, that you read it in more of a mature voice. And going off what Maya said too, it took me a while to get into the book too, because like on the Instagram poll, I voted Where the Crawdads Sing.
Same.
And so when I found out I was going to have to read a book about a talking octopus, that's what I thought it was about at first, since the cover. I was like, really? But Marcellus definitely should have had more reading time, because his were enjoyable, and he had a sense of humor, which I liked. He was funny. He was probably my favorite character. I would have loved if the whole book was probably about him.
I found him relatable.
Yeah.
How weird is that you found the giant Pacific octopus, who's like days away from the end of his life, way more relatable than the other human characters?
Well, he observed the other human characters and like picked up on their traits faster than the people could. So it's like, it's kind of like Plato's allegory of the cave. Like, some people are blind to it, but then you've got this objecting force that can that sees and observes, and they see what's going on, and like they're not blind to it, and they point it out. But what?
You just gave me a brilliant idea.
What?
Have you all finished reading Gatsby or halfway through it?
I'm
or what?
Not yet.
like halfway through chapter 7.
Okay. So if you've finished reading it, I need you to rethink some stuff. If you've not finished reading it, I need you to start thinking this. Nick Carraway and Marcellus the Octopus, similar.
I could see
I would,
that.
yeah.
They are
I could see
both
that.
on the outside looking in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like Nick says early on in the book, too, that he found himself on the outside looking in. He says, I was both within and without. And here Marcellus is a major part of the story, and yet not the major one who's having to like find himself in the story. He's within, but he's also without, looking at these people, at these remarkably bright creatures.
Guys, close your ears because I don't want to spoil Gatsby for you.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I've seen the movie.
I've seen the movie too.
I think Nick is just like, I feel like he's not even a person. He's just narrating like for Gatsby.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I forget what chapter it is. It's either 5 or 6, but it's like it's just taking this long break to explain who Gatsby was and his whole backstory. And it's like, but what does that have to do with you, Nick?
What a good question, which this is not supposed to be an episode about Gatsby only, but we're going to go down this path a little bit. Say that again. What does that have to do with you, Nick? Right? What does Gatsby's whole life have to do with Nick? And yet Nick idolizes him, right, from the very start. He says from the beginning that, you know, all of this stuff happened last year, and he calls it all that foul dust. He says, I have nothing but disgust for all of that, except for Gatsby. Gatsby, he only sees through rose-colored lenses, but Gatsby is not a saint.
Yeah.
Gatsby is not a really good guy. Like, Gatsby lies, Gatsby cheats, Gatsby steals, and Nick adores him. So you go on and on about this person. What does that matter to you, Nick?
The only thing I could see is like, for me, Gatsby, the only reason I think he is like a respectable character is his dedication to his love life. And like seeing, I don't know, because Nick and Jordan,
Yes.
spoiler, they don't work out. I mean, I think Nick just wants his big, grand lifestyle that Gatsby has. And he's so upset that he can't have it. But, I mean, it's just like people in high school. Like, we're so caught up in what we don't have, we don't realize what's right in front of us.
100% Gatsby is a lot like high school, with all the rich kids and their rich parties and the popular kids. And you might temporarily be with the popular kids. You're the new one who's new popular, but you're not popular, and they'll let you come to their parties, but really, I don't know. Gatsby's a different book when you finally get into your 30s and 40s and you reread it. I'm just telling you, it's a different book then too. But I'm glad you're liking it enough to talk about. I think in that way, Nick is also like Cameron from Remarkably Bright Creatures,
Really?
who has not discovered what he really is yet, and yet he's so consumed with, oh, this other, if I can just get this, or if I can just be with this person. Because Cameron's so obsessed with finding his dad to make the guy pay that that'll make me great. But really, I don't know.
But the difference between Cameron and Nick is that Cameron actually finds self-fulfillment. But does Nick?
You're going to have to come back and we're going to have to do a Gatsby episode about it later. That's a great question. Does Nick ever find satisfaction? Okay, so if unpopular opinion, Remarkably Bright Creatures, not a great book. 1 out of 5. Where are you going to give it?
I thought it was good.
Oh, there's disagreement on the council.
Even though it was predictable, I thought it was a good book, especially for summer.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Okay.
for her first novel, give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Okay, I've read a lot worse than that.
Okay.
I think if she were to come out with another novel, that it would be really good too.
Oh,
Plus, there's so many factors that could have played into that. I mean, she could have had a bad publisher, like time crunch.
we also need to be careful. Have any of us published a book?
No,
So what do we know about it?
right.
And really, Shelby Van Pelt has not only become a published writer, she's a successful one. Like, her book has sold really well. And they're turning it into a movie, too.
Oh, really?
With Sally Field as Tova. And I don't know. I wonder who they're going to get to be the voice of Marcellus.
You know who this reminds me of? Colleen Hoover. Like how she's. I don't like her.
The literary giant Colleen Hoover.
I don't
bad
like her.
person.
I don't like her writing and stuff. But like,
What do you have against literary smut?
I hate how it's like almost every page, and if it's not every page, it's every other page. Okay,
I don't know how people read that stuff at school, guys.
Yes,
Go home.
that's maybe that's an unpopular opinion.
Read the books at home.
I don't know. It sounds like a popular opinion to read it at school.
Some books can be left at the house,
Put that in your free time.
Okay.
but people have free time at school.
At home. Who did you say was playing Tova in the...
Tova is going to be played by Sally Field.
When
I don't know if
I
you've ever
casted
seen
her.
When I was
Really?
reading
I
it,
think I did.
I envisioned Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That was who I pictured in my mind the whole time. That was my Tova.
You
And I
talk
was like,
about A-list actor.
if this gets adapted, it's going to be her.
Who would you have picked as Cameron?
I don't remember who I casted as him.
I thought hard about it, and I could not think of anyone.
I
'Cause
could
he's supposed
see
to be in his
Patrick
30s.
Dempsey. Like,
Really?
Yeah, but I
maybe
kind of
like younger
Patrick Dempsey is so hot.
unpopular opinion.
No, he's so bad.
I kind of imagine what I pictured of Cameron in my head. He was kind of like a Buzz type of thing,
Oh.
you know, kind of like roughish looking. I mean, like his situation when he was living in California,
Right.
you know. So he's kind of more. Oh no, I don't want to say that. That's kind of I can't say.
Well,
that on
he's
air.
he's a failure to launch right now.
Yes.
And he's all slobby because he's down on his luck. His life is a train wreck right now. So I totally imagine somebody blonde in his 30s, kind of schmucky.
Yeah.
Drew Starkey.
Who is that?
Yes.
The guy off Outer Banks that plays Rafe Cameron.
Yes.
I've never seen Outer
I
Banks.
could see that. I really could see that.
I could see that. Yeah.
Maya's going to be our information person for the episode and is going to Google a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He-
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good Cameron.
Even though he's
I just pictured somebody who, Patrick Dempsey I think is a little bit too old for my image of Cameron.
I feel like Cameron is like beat up.
But yeah, you want it to be somebody who's attractive.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you know.
Because Cameron's got redemption to
And no
him.
one's gonna watch the movie.
Oh God.
yeah, that's
You
true.
got to throw him some eye candy.
I mean, it's the truth.
Leonardo DiCaprio. I know that's the only reason you watch
Shoo.
Gatsby.
Okay, so if maybe not everybody loved Van Pelt's book, part of me wonders if Van Pelt ever found this podcast. We've referenced Remarkably Bright Creatures like in 3 or 4 episodes. I think she's going to be hitting upon our judgments and being like, ooh, I hope we're not slandering her. If not everybody loved Van Pelt's book, where are we going to rate it? 1 to 5. 1, not great. 5, totally great. Eiley,
3.5.
Maya,
had the same answer.
3.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the 3.5 too. It probably would have been a 4 if the ending was a little better. It felt rushed for me.
Oh,
agree.
And okay, I don't remember his name, but the grocery store guy.
Ethan.
Oh,
Yes, Ethan was Tova. No,
Yeah.
Oh no,
No.
I totally put that together.
I did too.
I did. I put it together. I didn't like
I
it
thought
though.
they
Oh.
were cute. I thought they were cute.
But what's the age difference?
Oh, I
'Cause
think they're
I-
close.
No,
Really? Because
yeah.
I imagined him to be in his like 50s, and like she was in like her 70s, well on.
Oh no, just because it tells you the background that he came to this country in love with an American woman, and they did their highway road tripping on the road kind of life, and then she ditched him, and he kind of rooted himself here in California. Or is it California or Washington?
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, he kind of rooted
Seattle?
himself here.
A little out from Seattle.
So I pictured him as somebody like Brendan Gleeson, who's going to be older, probably stouter now. And Tova, I pictured as somebody blonde. I didn't think Meryl Streep, but I could totally see Meryl
Yeah,
Streep.
she had like, I think I was watching Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, yeah.
And her character in season 3 kind of reminded me of the same like personality.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Unpopular opinion. We're going to move on to a next one. I'm going to say the thing. Number 2.
So speaking of rushed endings, was Fahrenheit 451's ending good?
No. No.
I feel like even like it could have had like a second book to go on to it, but like I feel like at the end, what happened at the end? Like I feel like it doesn't give you clear like.
You needed every single detail
Yes.
spelled out for
Yes,
you.
because I feel like the whole book was spelled out.
The whole
for
book
me.
was
and then
building up.
And then boom, you hit me with a bomb, and that's it.
Well, don't we get enough detail from the ending? Like the city's been nuked, and here's the remainder of some literate society, and we are going to memorize. We're going to be the living embodiment of literature, and we will carry on. Like, isn't that enough?
No, I want to know
they're
how
kinda
that worked
know
out
more.
for them.
What would have been better if you had known more about what?
What happened to Mildred?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
but don't we kind of assume we know what happened
We
to her?
assume, but we don't know.
You can't care for Mildred that much, though.
Mm.
I mean, like,
I didn't think she was a great person, but
no.
She was
But
too
Chronically online.
And we're offended by her betraying her husband and like ratting him out there at the very end, right? She gets that beetle to
Yeah.
go into the city.
she had it coming for her.
That is true.
You'd have to correct me because it's been 2 months since I read it now. But doesn't it at the very end there, doesn't Guy Montag think what it would have been like for Mildred at the very end, that her eyes would have been like mere centimeters away from the TV, and that when the power goes out from the bomb, Mildred's screaming, screaming, screaming because she's lost her TV, and that's her last instance of life, screaming in the dark.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the line, or maybe I just invented that.
I mean, it's very likely.
might have been.
Maybe that's just me like, ooh, I wish that's what happened to Mildred.
Also, I can't remember her name at the moment. It was the girl from the beginning.
Clarice.
Yeah, Clarice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
miss her.
She
She's the
deserved
queen.
better.
So
I want to know what happened to her.
Me
Like,
too.
actually.
There is no way she
And
got hit
did
by a
she-
car.
No.
died.
I don't
She
think
didn't
she
don't believe
actually
that.
got hit by a car.
There is
Oh,
no
yeah.
way they built her up to be such like this, like, oh, she's gonna truly wake Guy up. She's gonna be
She's
his like
just like
mentor, and then she
Marcellus.
just gets hit by a car off
She's
well, that's
stage.
what happens to the best of our Christ-like figures, that they inspired us and they are made to die.
But she like getting.
And then we have.
I think she was too smart, and I don't think that she would have been around those kids in the fast cars because she was always off by herself.
I can see her getting lost in her own world and not being aware of what's around her, just because that's how she is. But I mean, like going out by getting hit by a car,
It's just
kind of
awful.
like.
What if it was staged?
Did we not talk about this in class? My fan
No.
theory?
Yeah, look at us.
Maybe a little. I remember
I don't
talking
think
to
we
you
did
about
much.
Clarice a little.
My fan theory is that Mildred killed her.
I could totally see
Oh
that.
my gosh, because Mildred knew about it. She knew that she died.
Mildred's the one who tells Guy.
And she just forgot.
Yeah,
Right?
and she held off.
But in that scene, she's telling Guy, it almost feels like she's flinging barbs at him, like she wants to hurt Guy, and is like so casual. Oh, yeah, that girl next door. Oh, I hear she got killed. I hear she got run over.
I heard you murdered her.
But Mildred also brags that she loves to drive, and she loves to drive fast. And I think she said something at one point, or somebody said something about hitting a dog. I don't know. I just kind of pieced it together, and it's like in my fan theory universe, Mildred was jealous, not necessarily of Clarice and Guy being together, but like, you're interrupting my life. You're fueling whatever this problem is with him. And she just ran her down unapologetically.
But do we think she was smart enough to realize that what she was like telling Guy?
Is who smart enough? Mildred?
Yeah, to kind of be aware, like, oh, she's telling him something about what's really going on here.
I don't know whether she wrapped her head around that or not. I just kind of, in my fan theory, was that Mildred hates this disruption to her life, and she hates this book thing, and well, you don't even understand what's in this, and now you're reading poems out loud in front of my friends, and that's embarrassing me, and I just want rid of it.
I could totally see that.
I could too.
But you've also watched Gatsby, right? And you've
I've
not
watched
finished
it.
reading it yet?
No.
I watched it a while back. I remember like one part very vividly. Spoilers ahead. So when I guess like in like elementary school, I think my dad, me and him watched it. And
You know, you can still hear her talking.
in case you didn't know, what's the mistress name? It's like something with an M. I think.
Myrtle.
Myrtle, yeah. She
My
gets
bad.
hit by a car, guys. Doesn't she, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that part on the TV playing very vividly with his yellow car and Daisy driving it.
Yeah.
That's like when I see The Great Gatsby, that's what plays in my head. Just little me watching it being like with my dad.
Okay, Eiley, headphones back on.
Okay.
So one of the things, I don't know if you picked up on, I don't know if he said it in that interview that we watched, but Ray Bradbury originally planned that when Guy Montag got across the river and was baptized and crawls out a new creature, that among that camp, he was not only going to find Granger and the others, he was going to find Clarice, that she was alive in the camp.
That's the ending I would have wanted.
I wish that
That's my ending.
But that never happened. He didn't do it. He also was going to write a scene in to where Guy Montag is invited to Captain Beatty's house, and that in the house, he was going to see row upon row upon row of bookshelves, and that they were going to be so full of books. Because Captain Beatty recites scripture all the time. He can quote from Hamlet. He can quote from whatever. How can you do that unless you've been a reader of books?
Does the book, I don't really remember, does it address why he knows that? Like why he knows so much?
Not
Does it?
necessarily, and nobody questions it.
Because I was kind of wondering that when I was reading it too. Like, why does he know so much? That's why I think during the comp check, it asked me like who the real like devil of the story was, and I put him because he knows too much.
Oh, I agree. Captain Beatty is definitely a devil figure. And there's a line that you're going to find in Hamlet where he says, the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. And here's Captain Beatty who can quote that scripture against you. And it's like he is the devil who's trying to use your own words against you. He's using the text against you. Evil, insidious guy. Let's move on to your next unpopular opinion. Number 3.
Okay, which is better, Antigone or Romeo and Juliet?
Antigone.
And I mean, it's very
Listen,
obvious, but
Antigone.
they're both the kind of like the tragic plays we have read so far with the freshman and sophomore year. And I think everyone will say Antigone. I don't know who would say Romeo and Juliet.
Antigone.
Now I'm going to flip a table.
I thought about saying it as I was saying it, and I was going to be like, but then I was like, Mr. Crockett might get me if I say
Antigone. Do you really think that's such an unpopular thing, though, that Antigone's a better play, that we enjoy it better?
I think people might think Romeo and Juliet is so much better because
It's
like
so classic.
yeah, and it's not
Everyone goes back to that. Like, I mean, you think of that book for your whole life, really.
Right?
It's always
so
brought up on.
popular.
They always get cast as the image of love, that star-crossed love. We teach it every year in freshman English, high schools across America. Why? Why Romeo and Juliet? I mean, it's a good entry-level starter for Shakespeare. Okay. But is it really that great?
No, I did not like it.
So why do you like Antigone better? What makes it better?
There's just so much more plot.
And there's more complex characters, I think, too. Creon definitely has more layers to him, I think, to go through. Whether rather than Romeo and Juliet, they're just blind teenagers, and that's
Yeah,
it.
and they're in love. Like, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary.
You get the same effect of Romeo killing himself over Juliet with
Haman.
Killing himself over Antigone.
I wonder how much, because Shakespeare absolutely ripped off of other plays and other histories and stuff. He would have probably been familiar with Oedipus and the Oedipus trilogy. I wonder if he pulled that part. I wonder if that's just a common trope of young love gone wrong, and that he pulled that in. I wonder.
I feel like maybe people are so drawn to Romeo and Juliet because we can relate to it more, maybe. Like, not relate to it, relate
Yeah.
to it.
Right.
But, like, the love aspect and being so infatuated and in love with a person that we want to relate to this story so much. And some people probably do. Like, some people think, like, oh, if anything happened to them, or, like, if they break up with me, I'm going to, like, hurt myself or whatever. You know, like, some people say that.
Right.
And it's definitely the time we're reading Romeo and Juliet too. We were freshmen in high school, so I was like, we were 14, 15, and love's kind of new to you, and you're the same age as Romeo and Juliet. You can relate to those characters more, which is why maybe it's popular than Antigone. So.
And a lot of people think they found the love of their life in freshman year, and they're like, oh, we're going to get married.
We're just like Romeo
We're
and
going to be
Juliet.
high school sweethearts.
I hope you're not
And
like
it never
Romeo and
works
Juliet.
out.
I know, right?
So you brought up a great point that, okay, there's complexity of character to Creon. Complexity is a tough thing for a lot of kids to talk about because complexity is not only this, but also that. So what qualities would you think exist in Creon, who is largely like the antagonist of the play Antigone? For our readers out there who don't know, Antigone has come back to her father's kingdom here in Thebes, and her father has found out he's the cause of all this tragedy. He's exiled himself. He's dead now. She's come back to find that her brothers have killed each other in a war, and her uncle has basically puppet master taken the kingdom over. And his first rule is, do not bury that brother or his army because they fought against the city. And really, I mean, he's the one who's masterminded it, but now he's put her into an impossible choice. As an antagonist character, Creon's traits are not only blank, but also blank. What do you call him?
I don't know.
I had a good word for it when we were reading it, but I cannot
I almost
remember.
Like if he were your uncle, or if he were somebody in charge of your government, or somebody in charge of your school, like what do you call him? He's not only
A lunatic.
this, but also that.
He feels like he's doing the right thing, but in reality, to others, he's not.
Blindsided.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So he's not only blind to what he's doing, then we need something in the opposite direction. He's also blank.
Regretful.
So he's not only so proud and blind and driving ahead, he's also remorseful and full of regret. And there's an adjective, contrite, that he's full of contrition. I wish I hadn't done this. But is he forgiven by the end?
No.
No.
And he's probably never going to.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, like, there's no possible way for him to be. I mean, they're all dead.
I feel
Yeah.
like he'd be like Caesar. He'd get like executed.
Yeah.
He'd get backstabbed.
Yeah, and there's no way he would forgive himself too, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's at that point where he's like realizing like, oh, this is what I've done. And I don't think he's going to ever come to terms with the fact, just because like it's so much at once. It's like it hits you. I don't think he'll be forgiven at all by anyone.
All right. So let's leap back over to Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, is he a complex character?
No.
Who's
No.
not only this, but also that?
No, he's just
You don't
dumb.
think so?
Dumb and in love.
I think he just
He's not only dumb, but he's also in love.
wants a girlfriend.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could read into it and find
literally-
something.
He literally wanted one girl at the beginning, and then literally like a day later, he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yes, Juliet, yes."
Juliet's love of my life, guys.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
die for her.
Yeah. I do think it's great that you bring that up. It is so common to see that. And then here, your sophomore year, you get Nick Carraway and Jordan Baker. You get Gatsby and Daisy. And I don't know. Maybe that's just a different look at love.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like that definitely gives us one perception of love. Like, maybe not the right type.
It's
but-
kind of like as we go on through high school, like our views of love mature kind of through.
Yeah.
Mature and sour.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
They
people's
change,
don't mature.
definitely.
Some people's don't mature.
at
You're right.
all.
Through our readings, though, like we go from Romeo and
Yeah.
Juliet to people like Gatsby and Daisy.
But even look at Gatsby and Daisy. They're like Cameron from Remarkably Bright Creatures here. They're in their 30s. And have they really matured?
No, they're so obsessed with each other. It's like fresh love.
But then she doesn't want to leave Tom, and so it's like
Yeah.
And Tom Buchanan.
Tom is just a terrible person. I feel
Yeah.
like
I mean, I don't think Gatsby is like a great,
he's not a good
Oh,
person
no,
either.
agreed, right?
definitely not a great impression of love because there's so much like cheating that's going. I mean,
Yeah.
even with Nick, like Nick was cheating on his girlfriend from the countryside with Jordan.
Also, I feel like I don't know. This just made me think of it. Like when you're watching TikTok and you hear about the Great Gatsby, everyone's like, "Oh, I need a Jay Gatsby in my life."
No, you don't.
And it's like it's like that one picture of him with the green light in the distance, and you're just kind of like,
The people who say that didn't read the book.
yeah.
The people who say that a Gatsby party is what we want for prom or a Gatsby style wedding is what we want didn't really read the book because the parties are the problem.
Yeah.
The partying and the partying and the partying is a death trip and it's a problem.
Gatsby kind of reminds me of like The Notebook in a way, like
I
of how
agree.
he's waiting and he's like how
He's yearning.
yeah he's yearning. He builds a house, but he's sitting there across the street with his green light. But it's like how he published what's his name, Ethan? Was that his name? Ethan building a house and publishing it in the newspaper for what's her name?
I don't know. I've never read this. I don't know.
You've never seen The
I know,
Notebook?
I know the movie.
Okay,
I've
but, like,
watched it one time
don't
20
know.
years ago.
I've never watched The Notebook actually.
I've watched
Okay.
some of it, and I think it's more.
I have seen some of The Notebook. I just cannot bring myself to watch the whole movie in one sitting because, I mean, like, okay, everyone knows the story of The Notebook, I feel like. So it's like, oh, I kind of know what's going to go on here. And it's just like, no one wants to cry that much.
I feel
Allie,
like-
that's her name.
But yeah,
Allie.
Allie,
Yeah.
and Allie's cheating on. She's engaged to some rich guy from wherever her parents forced her to move to. And then she finds out that her mom's hiding all these letters after she goes and sees Ethan because he's like, I wrote you 365 letters, blah, blah, blah. And he's all like, they're all arguing because of it. And then she gets mad at her mom because her mom just shows up and she's like, you hid all these letters from me. And her mom pulls them out and she's like, yeah. And she's just like, I don't even know.
There is definitely a
They're very
similarity,
similar, I feel.
Yeah. When I was a sophomore, I thought I was in love and I didn't know what I was talking about. When I was in 6th grade, I thought I was in love and I didn't know what I was talking about. When I was in 1st grade, I thought I met the love of my life. And I didn't know what I was
Married her on
talking
the
about.
playground.
Right?
Propose with a ring pop.
Oh, yes.
But in high school, I know I was crazy for this person, and it took me forever to realize, Jason, this is not right. And I was so crazy in love for this person. I remember I had picked up a friend from Nashville, and I was driving him back to Cookeville in the middle of the night, and he had just broken up with this girl that he had been with briefly, like so briefly. And what they had is not love. It may be a different word, but it was not love. And he was sitting in my passenger seat crying at me, I loved her. And I just wanted to puke and I wanted to scream, you don't know what love is. But really, wasn't I kind of like Gatsby? Wasn't I kind of like these other guys? And it's like, really? But did you know? Did you know what love is?
You were yearning for somebody.
That's growing up. That is growing up. Do you have another unpopular opinion?
I do.
Okay. Eiley, number 4.
My favorite unit in honors English was the poetry unit.
I disagree.
I can see where she's coming from.
Oh.
I get where you come from, but that was definitely not my favorite unit that we've had.
Eiley, give me your reason why. Why was that your favorite?
I loved analyzing the poems. Like, there was so much I could pull out of the poems that you would never see at surface level, just like reading through the poem, but actually sitting there and analyzing it. It made me think so much more deeper. And even with the Before He Cheats song, like I'm never
going to listen
knew.
to that song.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, really.
Look at him partying over
That'll
I'm just
I
loving
think
it.
Analyzing those songs will affect me for life. I'll never listen to them the same.
And okay, I loved analyzing Before He Cheats because I'm a Swiftie, guys. And Taylor Swift has really good lyricism in her songs, and so I loved being to do something that I liked and saw like outside of class in class. And so that's why after we analyzed Before He Cheats, the assignment after was, now you pick a song and analyze it. I submitted Peter by Taylor Swift, and I think I analyzed that. Like I was going through my notes app today before this, and I saw my notes for that exact assignment in there, and it had the lyrics screenshotted and everything and like what it meant. And so I can definitely agree with Eiley that I love to analyze the poems, but I did not like writing the sonnets.
No.
Okay. One of my AP kids who graduated last year, Lily, I'm going to have her listen to this episode because she always wanted to fight about how she believed Taylor Swift is a literary kind of writer for
I
this.
feel like she is.
Do you have a
She
different
is.
opinion?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, I don't necessarily love Taylor Swift. I do. Oh, God, I shouldn't put this into a recording. I do have one Taylor Swift song that I really like.
What is it?
And I don't know what would be my Taylor Swift song.
Guys, is he an all too well 10
Are
minute
you
version
all too
guy?
well
All too well version. Gotta get all 10 minutes.
Does every dad secretly have a Taylor Swift song that if he
I think
heard,
so.
he
I feel
would
like you're
actually
Shake
like?
It Off.
No, I don't. He would think it's overplayed.
Yeah.
You're right. I
I
do.
think it wouldn't be.
Or
Cool
like,
summer.
Look What You Made Me Do or something like that.
He's a Reputation guy. I can
Yeah.
totally see.
He's waiting. For
At least give us,
Taylor's
the
version.
album.
He clowns for it.
Can we get an album?
I couldn't even tell you the name of any album that Taylor Swift has.
What's it look like?
I have no earthly idea.
Can we have a lyric? It could even be one word.
Guys, we should have done an episode about Taylor Swift in English.
Would Crockett be a folklore fan?
Oh,
Would-
yeah, for sure.
Would he like exile?
No.
Oh, just
Crockett,
kidding.
I think Crockett is like rock.
He's a
and
torture
roll.
poets
Would he
department
like,
guy,
would he like
guys.
the last great American
No.
He'd like the last great American dynasty.
The last great American dynasty.
I do not. I still don't know what album this is from.
That key lime green.
I just know that you could be the one that I
Love.
love. I could be the one that you
Starlight?
dream of.
Message in a Bottle.
Message in a
Message
Bottle.
in a
Yeah, from Red.
From Red. Okay. I have no
I was going
idea.
on to something with All Too Well, though. Red. Same
Yeah,
album.
Red.
Yeah.
we were getting
But
there.
Lily every day last year was so always wanting to get into a fight because I think she believed that I just thought Taylor Swift was not great. I'm just not a huge Taylor Swift fan. And I think, I don't know, sometimes it just gets, you hear it so much that it's like, okay, can we take a break from it? But I don't think that Taylor Swift is not in any way literary. I think somebody can find literary merit probably in her work. I just don't think it's the greatest literary poetry I've necessarily ever encountered. But what do I know? I'm not the authority be all end all on anything. And I will tell you that this same girl, Lily, used Taylor Swift on her AP exam and she made a great score on her response for it. So there you go.
Yeah, actually, whenever I used to write, like in 8th grade or 9th grade, I would always listen to Taylor Swift. Like it would get the writing juices going.
She's a good writer. That's definitely something I would argue with someone about.
Oh,
And I
maybe
probably have before.
I have an unpopular opinion. Maybe I think when like you're going through more emotions, like you tend to write better.
I agree. I think.
Yeah.
That's an unpopular opinion.
I don't know. Maybe.
Some people like.
I
to
almost
be,
feel like that definitely makes sense.
Well, I don't know because some
Right?
people like to be so like giddy and happy, like when they.
Well, that's
write,
going
but,
through an
like,
emotion.
Someone needs to like bring me down next Wednesday.
Yeah,
That way
We're gonna
I
do
could
a
like
trial
really
run.
bring it.
someone better have like I better.
No,
be,
because you're
like-
supposed to be so persuasive next week. I need you to
Oh,
be.
we got to be burned with anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gotta rally me up.
Yeah, somebody better like get me in my feels or something. Persuading somebody for something. I don't know.
We could do that.
Like a sales marketer.
All right, we're coming up on the end of the episode. Anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Do you think Julius Caesar should have died?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Coming from Julius Caesar.
Yes.
From the Julius Caesar.
I have always loved the story of Julius Caesar. I can remember being a sophomore in Valerie Voiles' 10th grade English class. I hope she hears this someday. And I loved her class. I took her class as often as I could. She was like a mother figure to me. I loved it. And I can remember being in her class and reading Caesar on my own. And I think they always joke that every guy has his own Roman Empire that he thinks about, right? And it turns out mine is the Roman Empire that I think about. And I always loved it. So when I became a teacher, I was so excited about teaching Caesar and getting to play Caesar. The more I've read it and the older I've gotten, the more I realize Caesar's the bad guy. Caesar is a bad guy. And Brutus is not wrong. But Brutus is just not effective in changing anything. Not so far, right?
I think
So,
he took
like-
it up in a bad way.
Yeah,
like it could have been
Did he
different.
carry it out the right way? And like, I mean, could it have been resolved?
Shakespeare literally has Julius Caesar say, "Let me have about me men that are fat, sleek-headed men and such as sleep o' nights." He wants you to be coddled. He wants you to be eating out of his hand so you don't bother him, because it's the lean and hungry people like Cassius who think too much that bother me. He literally says, Cassius reads.
I think the one thing that bothered me while we were reading the play was like when Mark Antony offered him the crown and you were like, no. Like 3 times. I was like, this is so, I don't know what's the word.
Manipulative, right?
Not manipulative. Like,
And he denies the crown, but then he's told that he's getting a crown at the Senate, and it
Yeah,
persuades him to
it's
go
fake.
instead of staying
Yeah.
home.
Oh, it is absolutely fake. But then Antony also uses it as a weapon in his funeral speech when he says, they say that Caesar was ambitious, but I thrice offered him a crown, and thrice he refused. Was this ambitious? That whole crown thing was an ambitious play for power, and it didn't turn out the way that he thought it would, but he used it. Here, Antony's using it in his funeral speech to say, look, he didn't really want that crown. Yes, he did. Caesar was I don't know.
if he didn't
not
want
great.
that crown, if he didn't want the crown, then why did he
wouldn't have died.
want to be a dictator for life?
Oh, yeah, right. So do I think Caesar did a lot of great things? 100%. Do I think he was a great historical figure? Sure. But I also think the Roman Empire had gotten so corrupt or the Roman Republic had gotten so corrupt by that point that there was no saving it from becoming an empire anyway. Caesar, yeah, he deserved to die.
And look at us. We're supposed to be pro Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
We have to go campaign for that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about debate is being given a topic that you don't agree with and having to figure out, okay, how do I fight for that topic? There are plenty of public defenders who have to defend people in court that are like, this guy's guilty, but my job is to save him.
Yeah.
When we did that like mock courtroom thing for Creon and Haman, it was so hard picking out things for like to justify Creon's actions.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the show today. I love getting to have you all here.
Thanks for having
We
me.
love having you as our teacher.
Unpopular opinion.
If you loved today's episode, or even if you totally disagreed with us, make sure to leave thoughts and feedback.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.